A Garage Geek VC album challenge. Well, I hope you're all awake after listening to that snippet from Diamanda Galas. Now, I challenged Guz69 to listen to that album and give me his thoughts. Now, normally I would do this out of our wheelhouse type of thing, but I gave him something that I think that he wouldn't have much of a problem with. This is an album that, despite what it sounds like, I really admire and I really like. So I am looking forward to hearing his thoughts on this album. Now, what did he give me? Take Me Back to Eden from 2023, an album by Sleep Token. Now, I got the idea that he gave me this album not because he really, really likes it, but because this is one metal album that is super popular and made it onto the charts. And so I think he wants to know my honest thoughts about this album. Now, I'd never heard this album before. So this is Sleep Token's third album, and supposedly it's their third album. That's the third in a trilogy. So their first album is called Sundowning, and the second album is This Place Will Become Your Tomb. I kind of like the title of that album. And so this album, Take Me Back to Eden, would be the third part of that trilogy. I didn't go back and listen to the other two albums. This album debuted at number 3 on the UK album charts, and it made it into the top 20 in the United States. I think the reason that happened was they started releasing singles to this in rapid succession on Spotify, and it gained this huge following. Seems like Spotify is becoming a really major force in the music industry. This album received polarizing reviews. For example, Metacritic gave it 60 out of 100, which, if you think about it, that's a D. That's pretty low. Whereas Kerrang, which is a magazine I actually know, gave it 4 out of 5. Which that would be an 80%. And NME, which is also, I know that one, I believe that's a British music magazine, gave it 5 out of 5. In a 5-star review for NME, Emma Wilkes described the album as an ambitious, emotional monolith of a record with all the hallmarks of future classic status, praising its unpredictability and adoption of multiple musical styles. We're going to talk about that in a second. In a 4-star review for Metal Hammer, Danny Levers described Take Me Back to Eden as a record that not only expands the band's universe and continues to prod metal's boundaries, but considers what it means to be human, proposing that it is Sleep Token's strongest effort to date. Clash writer Ims Taylor claimed that while some moments are impressive, Take Me Back to Eden is an album let down by overindulgence, suggesting that the record features too many songs that stretch on longer than they need to. So now that you've heard from the critics, you're going to hear from Garage Geek. Oh wait, before you hear from Garage Geek, we're going to take a look at its rankings. So of multiple music magazines' best albums of the year, Alternative Press, 5 best albums of 2023, it ranked it at number 5. Kerrang, 50 best albums of 2023, put it at number 3. Metal Hammer, 50 best albums of metal albums, put it at number 1, and so on. So this album has 12 tracks, most of them between 4 to 7 minutes, with the majority of them being between 4 and 6, for a total length of 63 minutes. So track 1 is called Chokehold, and it's actually one of my favorite songs on this album. It's a great way to start this album. It's very catchy. You got me in a chokehold. And I would find myself singing throughout the week. It was like earworm. It was like stuck in my brain. One aside is that as I was watching some of the video pieces where they were just like looking at museum pieces of these creatures that are statues that kind of come to life in weird ways, the comments were pretty funny. The second clip that we're going to listen to is from the second song called The Summoning. And the reason I'm putting this one is because this one has a very prog sound, and I would say that this kind of sounds like Marillion to me, although I'm not huge into the Marillion catalog, so I could be wrong about that. So let's go ahead and look at one idea from this album that really stuck out to me. So in the Wikipedia review, it says this album combined elements of various genres, including funk, electronic, pop, R&B, alternative metal, progressive metal, djent, or djent, I don't know what that is. That one's new for me. Metalcore, and blues. I am going to side with these reviewers in that this album seems to be all over the place upon the first couple listens. It seems like it's schizophrenic and it's struggling with what it wants to be. As far as this being a dark sounding album, it's not that. It certainly has dark moments where you will hear the growly voice and the really heavy guitars, but this album is not really about that. I think what's dark about this album are the themes that it's trying to explore. I would actually list this album more in the indie rock with some slight darkness to it. Hey, Kim at This Is Music is always making up, well, he's not making them up, but he's always using these metal terms. So let's call this dark indie. Kim, I need you to use dark indie in your videos from now on. So clip 3 is going to be from the song Aqua Regia.
On the blood cells, carbon on the brain, all of Eden's vices running through my veins. Aqua Regia, oxytocin running in the ether.
So this clip to me totally sounds like indie rock. I didn't get a clip from Vor, but Vor does have that dark growly voice, which is apparent in quite a few of the songs. In at least 3 of the songs on this album. In clip 4, which is the last song that we're going to examine with clips, I actually got 2 clips from. This song is called Are You Really Okay? And this is also a standout track on this album.
Don't you know I was trying to hold back the darkness. And are you really okay?
This song is really dealing with dark ideas of a person who is trying to help someone not be suicidal or help them through their suicidal thoughts. And at the end of the song, we have this plea repeated over and over again: please don't hurt yourself again.
Please don't hurt yourself again. Just please don't hurt yourself again.
Now, as serious and as lovely as this song is, I really could see this being used in a teen angst movie. Even though I didn't get a clip from the last song on the album, Euclid, that is also a track that I liked because of its style. Now, as you can see from my review, I did not get a clip from every single track. I stuck to ones that really stuck out to me. So I'm going to tell you, if you heard clips from this and you enjoyed them, then you really need to listen to the first song, Chokehold. You need to listen to the song, Are You Really Okay? And if you like the album from there, I would try The Summoning, which is a longer track, and also Euclid. And if you're still down for it, then I would just listen to the entire album. So my final thoughts on this album: this is an album that I really enjoyed, but I do feel that it's overlong. I could use about 5 songs from this album and I could leave the rest. Having said that, I would like to examine the band's other 2 albums. I find the lead vocals singing to be very interesting and appealing. I found the lyrics to be interesting. They focused on themes that were dark, but appropriate to this genre of music. Do I feel that this is like a dark or heavy metal album? As I said already, I don't think so. This to me sounds like dark indie music. Right, Kim? I would give this album 3.5 to 4 stars out of 5. It would have higher if all of the songs were as appealing as the ones that I mentioned. A lot of the songs sound very similar to ones that I've already given you clips of, so that's why I didn't feel the need to provide more clips. I want to thank Guz69 for giving me this album. I think he chose it specifically for me, not because this is an album that he loves, but because this is a really popular album, and he wanted to hear my thoughts on it. I'm sure he likes this album, so in his video, I'm hoping that he tells me what he thinks of this album. Any comments that you have, I'm always happy to have them. And again, I want to thank you all for the support.